My name is Evelyn Harper. To my daughter Lily I have always been simply Mom, the woman who came home smelling of hospital bleach and exhaustion, who fell asleep on the couch still wearing scrubs, who kissed her forehead every night and whispered, "You're my whole world," even when my own world felt too heavy to carry. For 25 years she believed I was a night shift RN at Harborview Medical Center, living modestly in our little Capitol Hill condo, clipping coupons and taking the bus because that's what single moms do. I never corrected her. I wanted her to grow up proud of hard work, of showing up when no one else would, of kindness that costs nothing. I never wanted money to define how she saw me, or how she saw herself. I never told her I became a specialized nurse practitioner consultant earning $32,000 a month after taxes. I never told her hospitals across 5 states flew me in to train trauma teams and rewrite ER protocols. I never told her I bought Amazon stock at $7 a share when Lily was still in pull-ups, and Microsoft when the world was selling it off. I never told her about the quiet fortune, more than $8 million in investments, the condo paid off years ago, the life insurance policy that would one day mean she never had to worry about money the way I once did. Because I had watched money change people. It can soften edges that life needs sharp. I wanted Lily sharp. I wanted her kind. I wanted her to believe she was enough, always enough, without a safety net waiting in the background. Then came the engagement dinner at Canlis. Lily called on a rainy Tuesday evening. Her voice trembled with a mix of joy and fear. "Mom, Ethan's parents want to host our engagement dinner at Canlis this Saturday. They're paying. They really want to meet you." A small, nervous pause. "I told them you work nights, and sometimes take the bus. They said not to worry about a ride." I heard what she didn't say out loud. "Please don't look poor. Please don't embarrass us." My heart squeezed, not from anger, but from sorrow. My beautiful girl was afraid her mother would be seen as less. "I'll be there, sweetheart," I said gently. "I promise." That night, alone in the dark living room with rain drumming the windows, I made my decision. If they already pictured me as the tired, broke single mom who just works nights, I would dress exactly like that woman. I would let them show me their true hearts. And if those hearts were small and cold, I would finally stop swallowing the pain I had carried in silence for too many years. Saturday arrived cold and gray. I chose the outfit that hurt the most to wear. Faded black slacks with threadbare knees, gray blouse with one faint bleach stain from a night we lost a teenager, scuffed flats that had walked a million hospital corridors. No makeup. Hair in a messy bun. The old Harborview canvas tote, coffee-stained since 2009. In the mirror I looked precisely like the woman they pitied. Worn, ordinary, invisible. I took the 49 bus downtown, then the 10 uphill. Rain streaked the windows. I pressed my forehead to the cool glass and whispered to my reflection, "You've survived worse nights, Evie. You've survived worse." The hostess at Canlis gave me a polite but puzzled glance. "Harper party," I said tiredly. She led me to the private table by the floor-to-ceiling windows. Lake Union shimmered below like broken silver. Ethan stood and hugged me warmly. Lily's eyes flickered, love, worry, apology all at once. Marlene Whitaker rose in midnight blue silk, diamonds catching every light like tiny accusations. Richard, navy suit impeccable, expensive watch gleaming. "Evelyn," Marlene said, air-kissing without touching. "So wonderful to meet the woman who raised our future daughter-in-law. Night shifts. My goodness, how exhausting." Her concern felt like pity wrapped in silk. Richard offered a limp handshake. "Please sit. Sparkling water, okay?" I took the end chair. No one pulled it out for me. The leather-bound menu had no prices. I opened it, squinted, and let my voice go small. "Oh dear. It's all in French. I don't understand most of it." Marlene smiled instantly. Helpful, superior. "Don't worry, darling. The chicken is simple and reasonably priced. I'll order for you." She did, roasted chicken, no sauce, steamed vegetables instead of risotto. "We don't want to overindulge," she said brightly. The words landed like a hidden blade. Conversation began with wedding details. Marlene made sure we all knew the ring was 2.5 carats, custom from a Bellevue jeweler. Then the talk drifted. Marlene swirled her Chardonnay. We just closed on a little place in Palm Springs. 4,200 square feet. Infinity pool. Nothing extravagant. She looked at me, waiting for awe. That sounds beautiful, I murmured. I've never been. You must travel more, she said. It opens the mind. We take the children abroad twice a year. Ethan skied in Gustad last winter. Builds character. The hospital keeps me pretty local, I replied. Richard leaned forward, fatherly. Retirement must be on your mind, Evelyn. Night shifts at your age. Do you have a solid pension? We could introduce you to our advisor. Lily's fork froze halfway to her mouth. I looked down at my hands that had held dying children, held my own sobbing daughter at 3 a.m., held 4 lines steady during codes that ended in silence. I manage, I said quietly. I clip coupons. Take the bus. I don't need much. Marlene sighed theatrically. You're so brave. Raising Lily alone on a nurse's salary. We truly admire your strength. The knife twisted deeper. You weren't enough for her. You couldn't give her what we can. Tears burned behind my eyes. Not from shame, but from rage at how easily they reduced 25 years of blood, love, and sacrifice to a sad little story. Then came the offer. Marlene reached across and patted my hand. Her rings were ice. As family now, Richard and I want to help. We could arrange a modest monthly allowance, $600 or maybe $700, to ease things. In exchange, we simply ask you give the children space to build their future, without unnecessary worries. The room tilted. Ethan went rigid. Lily's eyes filled with instant tears. I let the silence grow until it hurt. Then I lifted my head. My voice came out different. Not small anymore. Steady. Raw. Full of every tear I had ever swallowed. $700 a month, I repeated slowly, to disappear from my daughter's life. Marlene blinked. We didn't mean. You meant exactly that, I said. My throat ached. You've spent this entire evening measuring me by what I don't have. You ordered the cheapest thing on the menu for me. You pitied me. You offered charity like crumbs. And you smiled while you did it, because you thought I was nothing. Lily whispered. Mom. I turned to her, tears slipping free. I let them do it, baby. I let them because I needed to see. I needed to know if the people who would help raise your children would ever look at someone like me, like the woman I used to be, and see a human being. I looked back at Marlene. Let me tell you who that woman really was. My voice cracked on the first words. At 22, I was making $18 an hour. I got pregnant. He left the next week. My parents told me I'd ruined my life. I worked until my water broke on the labor floor of Harborview. Lily was born at 4:17 a.m. on a Tuesday. I was back on shift 3 weeks later. A neighbor watched her for $50 a week while I worked doubles. Lily sobbed quietly. I studied at night with textbooks balanced on her crib. I fell asleep at the kitchen table more times than I can count, pencil still in hand. I learned trauma, cardiology, leadership, everything, while the world slept. Hospitals started calling me. 1 contract became 5. Fees grew. I invested every extra dollar because I was terrified of ever being helpless again. I looked at Richard and Marlene. Today I earn $32,000 a month after taxes. I have over $8 million in investments. The condo is paid off. I have more than enough. But I still take the bus because I like the quiet. I still clip coupons because wasting food breaks my heart. And I still work some nights because there's nothing on earth like holding someone's hand at 3 a.m. and telling them they're not alone. The table was a graveyard of silence. Lily reached for my hand. Her fingers shook. Mom, why didn't you ever tell me? I squeezed back, tears streaming. Because I wanted you to love me for the late-night mac and cheese dinners. For the way I sang you to sleep even when my voice cracked. For the way I showed up. Not for a bank account. Money changes how people look at you, baby. I never wanted you to look at me differently. She broke then. Great, heaving sobs. I'm so proud of you. I'm so sorry I let them talk to you like that. I should have stopped them. I should have. You were scared, I whispered. I understand scared. I turned to Marlene. My voice softened. You said you admire women who struggle alone. Have you ever struggled alone, Marlene? Have you ever lain awake wondering how you'll pay rent and buy formula? Have you ever held your baby and cried because you were terrified you weren't enough? Marlene's lips trembled. No words came. The waiter placed the check. $1,180. Richard pulled out his platinum card. Returned a minute later. Declined. Fraud alert. He tried another. Declined. Marlene whispered frantically about international charges last month. I reached into my faded tote. Pulled out the cracked leather wallet. Inside, the transparent metal Centurion card. I handed it to the waiter. Everything on this, please. 30% tip. They worked hard tonight. He recognized it instantly. Of course, Ms. Harper. 45 seconds later. All settled. Thank you. Marlene stared at the card like it had bitten her. That's a Centurion. Yes, I said quietly. Invitation only. I rarely use it. Tonight felt right. Lily stood, chair scraping. She came around the table and wrapped her arms around me so tightly I could barely breathe. I love you, she sobbed into my shoulder. I love you so much it hurts. You're the strongest person I've ever known. I held her like she was 3 years old again. I love you to the moon and back, baby. Always have. Always will. Ethan stood too. Face flushed with shame and fury. Mom. Dad. That was disgusting. You treated the woman who raised Lily, the woman who will be my mother-in-law, like she was invisible. Apologize. Right now. Marlene tried. Evelyn, No, I said gently. Not tonight. Words are cheap. You've spent enough tonight. I stood. Lily. Walk me out. She linked her arm through mine. Ethan followed. Outside the rain had eased to mist. The valet brought Ethan's car. I shook my head. I'll take the bus, I said. It's what I do. Lily burst into fresh tears. Mom, please. I cupped her face. I'm okay. Better than okay. I finally said everything I've carried for years. And you heard me. That's all I ever needed. She hugged me again, fierce and desperate. I see you now. I really see you. And I'm never looking away. Ethan hugged me next, voice thick. I'm sorry. I should have protected you sooner. You're learning, I whispered. That's enough. I boarded the 10 bus. Took my usual seat by the window. The city lights blurred through tears. My phone lit up. Lily, home safe? I can't stop crying. I'm so proud I could burst. I love you forever. Ethan, thank you for being the kind of mother who fights quietly. We're setting real boundaries tomorrow. No more money strings. No more judgment. I typed back through blurry eyes. I love you both. Get some rest. We have the rest of our lives. At my stop I walked home slowly. The condo was dark and quiet. I kicked off my shoes, made chamomile tea with shaking hands, sat on the couch, and let myself cry. Not from pain, but from release. From finally being seen. The next morning Lily knocked, eyes swollen, still in yesterday's clothes. We sat at the tiny kitchen table. She cried again. Apologized again. Asked every question she'd never dared ask before. I answered every one. We laughed through tears, remembering the night I got my NP license and danced alone in this very kitchen. We cried harder, remembering the nights I came home too tired to speak. You carried everything, she whispered. And I never knew how heavy it was. You lightened it, I said. Every time you smiled. Every time you said, I love you. That was enough. 3 days later my doorbell rang. Marlene Whitaker stood alone on the step, holding a small white bakery box from Macrina. No makeup. Simple sweater. Hair in a ponytail. She looked a human. May I come in? She asked in a voice I'd never heard from her, small, trembling. I stepped aside. She placed almond croissants on the counter. I remembered you said you liked them once. We sat. Silence stretched like a held breath. Finally she spoke, voice breaking. I was cruel. I was blind. I looked at you and saw only what I wanted to see, someone less, so I could feel more. I'm so deeply ashamed. I don't expect forgiveness today. I just needed to say it to your face. Tears slipped down her cheeks. I poured her tea with steady hands. Thank you for coming. That took more courage than most people have. We talked for hours. Not about money. About motherhood. About fear. About the terrible loneliness of trying to be perfect. About how easy it is to hide behind diamonds when your heart feels small. She left with a tentative, trembling hug. I want to be better, she whispered. For Lily. For Ethan. For me. Then start small, I said. Start with listening. 2 weeks later Lily and Ethan chose a simple venue on Bainbridge Island. They paid the deposit themselves. When Marlene offered help, they thanked her politely and said no. Boundaries. Lovingly drawn. A month after the dinner, a handwritten letter arrived from Richard. Evelyn. I failed you that night. Worse, I failed my son by teaching him status matters more than soul. Your grace humbled me in ways no boardroom ever could. I'm reading. I'm listening. I'm trying. I hope someday you'll let me earn even a fraction of the respect you deserve. With deepest regret and growing admiration. Richard. I pressed the letter to my chest and cried quiet, grateful tears. 6 months later, at the wedding under string lights on Bainbridge, Lily walked toward Ethan in a simple lace dress that made her look like moonlight. Marlene wore soft lavender, no diamonds. She cried through my toast, not from embarrassment, but from something softer. Something real. After the first dance Richard approached me on the deck. The sound glittered behind us. He extended his hand. Evelyn, thank you. For raising the woman who's teaching my son what love really looks like. For showing me what strength without noise can do. I took his hand. We all get to start over, I said. Every day. He nodded, eyes shining. I intend to. Later, barefoot in the grass, I watched Lily and Ethan sway together. Ethan's grandmother, 92 and sharp as ever, sidled up. You're the one who brought those Whitakers to their knees, aren't you? She whispered. I smiled through fresh tears. Maybe. She patted my arm. Good. About damn time. Money buys a lot of things. It doesn't buy a mother like you. I laughed until I cried. On the ferry ride home the wind whipped my hair. Seattle's lights welcomed me back like old friends. I stood at the rail, closed my eyes, and felt it all. The fear, the fight, the love, the release. I never pretended to be poor again. I didn't need to. The people who mattered had finally seen me. And the ones still learning, they were trying. I still take the 49 bus sometimes. I still clip coupons. I still work occasional nights because there is no greater privilege than telling someone in the dark, you're not alone. But when Lily calls now and says, Mom, brunch, I say yes. And sometimes I pay with the metal card, just to watch her grin like the sun came out. Because real wealth isn't the balance in the account. It's the daughter who runs into your arms sobbing, I see you. It's the son-in-law who finally stands up. It's the in-laws who arrive at your door with croissants and broken pride. It's the quiet knowledge that you built a life. No fanfare, no spotlight, on love that never once asked to be paid back. That, my friends, is richer than any view from Bellevue. And it was worth every tear I ever cried in silence.